Birch theory is my favorite ethical theory, as you probably know. I've created a revision pack on it in PDF form on my blog. It can be found on Scribd, otherwise, if it's not working on my blog, or just send me an email and I'll email it to you. Anyway, in this video, I'm just going to go over the strengths and weaknesses of Birch theory because I have not done this in a video so far, so let's just look at some of them. So the strengths, well, it's my favorite, obviously. Now let's look at some of the strengths, and these are some of the reasons why people like me feel attracted to virtue theory. So it takes into account human nature, human emotions, and it takes into account how we're feeling, why we want to do things. It's all accounted for, which theories like Kant, they're just really, really cold and hard, and no, they don't take into account emotion, and so they're not practical or realistic. Whereas that's what virtue theory is: practical, realistic, logical. It changes with time in society. That shouldn't be seen as a negative thing. It should be seen as a positive thing because humans are evolving. We are changing all the time. Our ethics should be changing with it. Our ethics should be developing with the new problems we face, like, I don't know, child labor. And it should be all the time changing. And virtue theory presents a theory which can change swiftly and easily, and it can change per country and depending on the how ahead the country is. So India's virtues are not going to be the same as the UK's, something like that. It can apply to everyone because it's a secular theory, and it does not mean that just because you're atheist you're going to be disrespectful towards theist. You might be an atheist, but you might look for virtues in Jesus because he was charitable and all these other exhibited all these other types of virtues which you might be seeking to get. So it brings mutual respect. It applies to everyone. It sees life as a whole. It's not just, am I going to eat that cake or am I going to eat that chicken? Which one am I going to eat? Why is one more moral? No, it looks at, oh my god, this is the person's life. This is all the action they've done. This person was moral or this person was not. Which is fair enough because when you're a child, you make mistakes. It happens. It's realistic. You're allowed to make mistakes because you're trying to develop the virtue, you're trying to learn. It's flexible. I don't see this as a negative thing. You need a theory which is flexible because if you just have absolute rules, although some find it easier to apply to their situations, other times you do not want to commit it and you don't, and then you say, why did this person not follow the theory? You need the flexibility to allow people to follow it because we all are different. It focuses on what it means to be human. So it's not what does it mean to do a good action. What does it mean to be human? What does it mean to be a good human? What does it mean for me, Camilla Chadha, to be a good person in the world? Not what does it mean for me to, I don't know, give money to charity. It's not about that. It's about the whole picture. That's what I love about virtue theory. And you don't have to link it to any afterlife, any summon bonum, any heaven, hell. You don't. It's just the theory for the now, here, and that's it. You are allowed to have your different opinions about life after death, life before death, whatever. Life, before you're born, whatever. Weaknesses. A lot of people say it's too vague, we can't get rules out of it. Well, it's not all about rules. It's about developing yourself. Because if you are developed, then you'll be following your own things. But it's a weakness. People don't like it. It's not do this, do this, do this. People see this as weakness. I really don't. It's different for different societies, different time. I said this was a strength because the fact that it's different just shows that it's going with the times. It's something different. It's a great thing. It should not be seen as a weakness, which it is, because people say, so why should I be witty if in another 20 years time that virtue is going to change? Well, you do it now because only when we reach eudaimonia will things change and blah blah blah. Eudaimonia can be interpreted in so many ways. There's another strength. That's great because people have different incentives. Economics says everything's about incentives. If your incentive is getting eudaimonia, then yeah, you're going to be virtuous. Now, Poochman, I don't really know who he is, but he said that some rules cannot be broken, like you must not kill. But then again, when you hanged who was it, Saddam Hussein, nobody said that was wrong. Well, people did say that was wrong, but killing just means taking someone's life. Taking someone alive can mean, in situations where you hang criminals, this happened so many times in the past. Some rules, all rules can be broken, I believe. People do bad things, but they think they're being virtuous. Now, this is not a weakness. I think this is just people's misinterpretation. And what we say, people are doing bad things, but they think they're doing good, it might be good on their personal moral development path. This is why we should maybe not judge other people, because what they might be doing, we say, oh, they might be being bad, they're not giving money to charity. But this might be their stage where they're learning to be, I don't know, tight with their money, and then they're going to learn to get that balance. This is their path. Who are we to say? It says here that you judge characters by actions, not virtues. I'm not sure if that's a weakness, because okay. We do judge people in terms of law. You've done this, so you're punished. You've done this, so you get, I don't know, tax break. You do judge people, but on a person to person, on a human level, you don't just judge someone because they've gone and killed something. If your best friend goes and kills someone, you don't start judging her, not talking to her. You judge her on a much more deeper level. That's what I'm talking about. You don't just judge on actions, you judge on virtues as well. You judge, are they kind? Are they this? Was this a one-up? Is this a character? Then we got a problem, and then we got to change it. So, and Susan Ward, I thought it was Wolf. I'm not sure. I'll check that for you. She claims that if everyone was virtuous in the world, then it would be boring. There would be no variety, and we could not appreciate the positive virtues for the negative ones. Obviously, I completely agree with you. You can't see good from bad if there's only good. You can't see black from white if there's only black. You know what I mean? So I understand that. But what she does not realize is that Aristotle said that only a few people are going to be able to reach eudaimonia. Only a few. And those he called gentlemen and philosophers. In modern day interpretation, it is people who have positive external factors. They've gone to a good school, good family, blah, blah, blah. And so you'll be able to see the positive ones from the negative. You will have that variety because everybody is on different paths. Everybody has different virtues. There is variety. One person's learning to be kind. The other one's learning to be tight with this money. You know what I mean? They are all different. There's your variety. And you'll have your negative factors because not everyone is going to achieve this potential. So that criticism just goes out the window as well. Virtues do clash in particular situations, but then you got to see which is more important to you at that point in your path. Which is more important? Everything I'm saying sounds a bit vague, and you might say that's a weakness, but this is virtue theory. This is a great theory. And another weakness is virtues are used to do immoral things. Like you might sort of celebrate the courage and bravery of the soldiers in Iraq. But why are they actually having a war in Iraq? Isn't that immoral? But the virtues are being used for it. Well, we can still admire the virtues, but the whole action might be wrong. We might need to rethink that. So that is a weakness. But anyways, I'm all for virtue theory. I love it, and I hope this video helps, and I hope you feel the same way about virtue theory as me. Thank you for watching.